Hello everyone and welcome back to Bobbin's Minecraft Let's Play series featuring the FTB Infinity Evolve Skyblock mod pack. You're watching episode 31 and today I'm going to show you some Thaumcraft that has transpired between episodes. I should go ahead and mention that I made a full set of the Wyvern armor. This will eventually get upgraded to Draconium. I also made the Wyvern tools, the pickaxe, the shovel, the sword. I made the bow, but I'm not carrying it. The plastic longbow from Tinker's Construct here is really a much better bow at this point in time. I also made a Wyvern flux capacitor so I can hold some extra power because I found that these weapons require power and they drain pretty quickly if you don't have some secondary source of power. So let's get started in this dungeon here. I've already cleared it, but there's still plenty of stuff going here. So what I did in here was, if you go through all these tunnels, and there are a variety of different rooms, there are a lot of passages. It's really a huge maze, and it can be kind of a pain to keep track of where you were. You can sort of see, looking down the hall here, that I've used the torches on one side method. And that is sort of okay, but I actually found that it's just too big a maze and it's too easy to get lost in here in all these passages. So I decided to use another method. Specifically, every time I would run into a passage that was a dead end, what I did with the dead end was I took and walled it off. Then I would go and continue on, and eventually you get to the point where you're walling off very long passages because they really have nothing on them once you've dead-ended it or cleared it or whatever. So that is what I've sort of been doing in here, and I cleared out a lot of space. There are a variety of rooms in here. This one, if you break these, you get knowledge fragments. I don't need knowledge fragments at this point, but that is worth knowing. You do have to watch out for that. Occasionally you can see the purple rune floating in the air. These shoot lightning out at you sort of randomly. You can take and break them with a pickaxe. You'll get a little bit of experience and it will disappear. And you can see there are several of them around here on the floor. It scared me. So I haven't actually cleared out every last little scrap of that stuff. Let me go find something interesting and I'll be right back. Okay, this was a particularly disappointing moment while exploring this dungeon. What I found was a spot where it looks like a whole chunk of the maze is missing except for some pieces in the middle. And if you look up what those particular pieces are, you find that that is the pieces of the portal to the boss room. So it's like the boss room is not here. And I was just really unhappy with this. It's clearly a bug, and it was like, well, I'm not going to be able to finish. And what I ended up doing here was I went ahead and created another portal to another dungeon to see if I could find a boss room in another one. And what I found was that the new portal led straight back to this dungeon. So I was kind of desperate at that point. I had no idea what I was going to do to actually finish the series, because you do have to defeat the boss here to get some of the items that you need to go on. And one possibility was that I could open up another portal like a few thousand blocks away, and maybe that would make a difference. I still don't know, because I was able to resolve the problem. What I found was that in doing a little more exploring in the dungeon, I found another area that had a portal to a boss room, and at that point I didn't need this spot. And so, obviously a bug. I don't know what's really going on here, but I was able to get around it, and it's not as much of a problem as I was fearing it might be. This is the room where I fought and killed the boss mob. There was an actual portal here, and I had to use a tablet that I found somewhere else in the dungeon in order to actually get in here. So there's actually two steps. First you have to find a room with the tablet. It's got some Eldritch Guardians guarding it. You get the tablet, and then there's a slot for it on this sort of door that used to be here. You put it in the slot and it opens up the room, and then you can go in here and kill the boss. There's probably a strategy to killing the boss. I will just say that you're not missing anything, that I'm not really showing the fight on camera here. The thing is, I just came in here and really just sort of hammered away at the boss until it was dead. It was a very simple fight with no strategy at all. I'm sure that it would have some real strategy to it if you were playing it at a level where you're not actually so beefed up as I am in this mod pack at this point. But that just was not the case here. I just killed it and it was done, and I got what I needed. What I needed was a primordial pearl. I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Let me go and show one other thing that I found in this dungeon before I leave it and get started on talking about that stuff. Okay, so the other interesting find in here, besides the boss that I needed to progress, was this monster spawner, which spawns mine spiders. The fact that it spawns mine spiders is very uninteresting. Actually, what is interesting about it is that I will eventually be able to pick this up using features of Draconic Evolution, and I will be able to set this up as a mob spawner to spawn whatever mobs I want, and I can upgrade it to spawn them faster and have it spawn them in the daylight and all these other nice features that Draconic Evolution has for that sort of thing. So this is the only spawner that I have found so far in the game that wasn't in the spirit world. There may be some more somewhere. I haven't seen them yet. I do know that I will not be going to an RF Tools dimension, for example, and trying to find some in dungeons there, because dimensions have been disabled. RF Tools is in the mod pack, but it's really in the mod pack just for the non-dimension features of the mod. So let's talk about a little more about why I came here when I get back outside. I'll see you outside. Okay, the reason for going through the Outer Lands, as that dungeon is called, is really to complete the Thaumcraft progression. And there were two items in particular that I needed. One of them is actually dropped by the boss, and that was a primordial pearl. I do have one of those now. I will be able, I can't yet, but I will be able to use blood magic to duplicate it, to make as many of them as I need, once I upgrade my altar and my blood orb to the 6th tier, which is also necessary in order to make these crystal clusters, in order to continue with making this last item for the final achievement, which is the created portable tank. The other item that's involved in the creative portable tank that involves the finishing that particular dungeon is this Icorium adorned Icor cloth strapped silverwood wand. What a nice long name. This wand is part of the Thaumic Tinkering mod, and in order to open up the research for it, you have to have completed basically all of the research up through the Eldritch tab in the book, and you have to have killed the boss in that dungeon so that you've gotten the key research on that, which is Primordial Pearl, I believe. You also have to have done most of the research on this Thaumic Tinkering tab itself in order to get to that point. Once you've done all that, you can open up the stuff for that wand. I think I am probably... Oh, look, blurred vision. I think I'm probably done now with Thaumcraft research. There might be something else, but I've gone through all of it to get to those last pieces that I think I need at this point. It's worth mentioning that going forward, this particular series is really only going to be about 2 mods that are left, in a big way, and those are finishing blood magic and really working hard and grinding in Draconic Evolution. Those are really the two mods that are sort of left in a major way in order to get the final achievements. I have actually started working on, in the Dire crafting table here, the creative energy cell. Let me go and look that. Actually, I guess I can do it here. Well, I say I can do it there, but actually I sort of can't. Maybe. Alright. The actual recipe requires a lot more stuff than I've made so far. All of these items are craftable at this point in my system, except for the Draconic Flux Capacitor. The Draconic Flux Capacitor requires Awakened Draconium, and that has to be done through a ritual in the end that I'm close to doing, but I'm not quite there yet. I'll probably do that for the first time off camera, and then I will show the fight again on camera, because I'm going to have to do the fight several times, and I want to make sure that I've got it working and understand what's going on, because this is not something I've done before. Okay, the thing with blood magic is I'm going to have to be able to get all the way up through tier 6 in order and upgrade my altar some more. I did make my tier 5 orb. I've been gradually filling it up. It says here I'm getting pretty close to 10 million LP. It looks like my current capacity will be 10 million LP. There's more progress that will have to be done on that. Beyond those two mods, what is really left in this mod pack is mostly just crafting these final items, the 4 creative items, and along the way clearing up the bottlenecks that come up in the process. Right now, for example, on this, some things are bottlenecks and some things are not. Clearly, Lumium is not a bottleneck at all, because I've got all the Lumium that I will need for all the energy cells that I will ever make, probably. Pellets of RTG fuel depend on having plutonium available. I've already made all of them for the first energy cell, so it looks like that is not a bottleneck. Resonant energy cell frame full, not a problem really. It is looking like redstone might be a little bit of a bottleneck, so I may need to scale up redstone, which is involved in this item, in order to be sure that I have enough going forward. So I might have to ramp up redstone production. For these enhanced Galgadorian metal, I'm actually short on slime balls at the moment, so I'm going to have to spawn either slimes or magma slimes, and magma cubes rather, and get more slime coming in. I've solved the mushroom problem, and if this brightness, the brightness is a little bit much, but what I did was I enclosed my farm over here, and it's no longer producing trees. I didn't need any of the trees or crops anymore, and I've just put some mushrooms in it, and so it is growing mushrooms right now, and it's grown thousands of them already. It probably won't be long before I have all the mushrooms I need, and then I can repurpose the farm again, I guess. Unfortunately, there's nothing that grows slime. There is something that grows redstone, though, so that's a possibility. Let's see. The other thing that's sort of a bottleneck on this is the quantum solar panels. This is just a matter of time, because it involves a lot of cenarium, which is just huge amounts of uranium and glowstone going into that, and energy. Just to produce the energy for that is quite a bit. Now, one thing I can do to speed that up probably is to make another one of these items here, the molecular transformer. This has apparently a little bit of a cap on how fast I can pass energy into it, so it requires 9 million EU to make one of the cenarium pieces, and it's pretty slow to make them. So I might make a few more of those machines to speed that up. Then, of course, there's the draconium that I've already mentioned. I'm Not entirely sure how I'm going to handle that. It may be that it's practical to manually farm them. I suspect it's not. If it's not, I may have to come up with automating some way to spawn and kill dragons. I hope I don't. That's going to be complicated, but if I have to, then I will. The other thing that is sort of a problem right now and is a little bit slow is nether stars. I need to really up my production of wither skeleton skulls so that I can produce nether stars faster. I've got less than 100 nether stars right now, and I suspect I'm probably going to need maybe as many as a couple of thousand. I haven't really counted, but I'm just going to say ballpark it's on the order of 1,000 plus or minus a factor of 10. How's that? And so I'm going to have to up the production on that. Probably I will do that in conjunction with the slimes. I will probably in the next episode or two build a very large mob spawner that is producing a lot more mobs than I'm currently doing right now, and in particular that produces a lot of wither skeletons. So that's what's on the agenda here. That's where we're going with it. I am cutting back on these episodes, probably already have by the time you've seen this, to just 2 episodes a week. I'm actually going to be putting out 4 episodes a week, but I'm splitting it between this particular series and the new Project Ozone 2 one that I'm working on. If you have not seen that one, and I suspect that everyone watching this will have because I don't have that great a viewership right now, but actually you viewers are great. I just don't have very many of you. That's what I mean. But if you haven't seen that one, I would certainly invite you to check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and call it an episode at this point. I know it's a little short. I haven't done anything particularly exciting with it. Next episode will probably be either a mob spawner or a draconic evolution fight or a blood magic thing of some sort. I haven't decided yet. But I look forward to seeing you then so that you can see that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.